Hello! So today in Microsoft Flight Simulator we're going to take a flight from Jandakot Airport, which is south of Perth on the southwestern coast of Australia, and we're going to fly up the river and fly out through the harbour and explore the city a little bit. But we're most interested in taking a look at the boats and ships around the area because I've got the Seafront Simulations add-on for Perth installed from Orbex. So let's see how we get on. Let's go and jump inside. This is the Carenado Cessna 182. So I've just gone and flicked a switch there that I shouldn't have with the mouse by accident. Let's go and turn the battery on then. Beacon light was already on, that's all fine then. And then mixture goes to rich. And alternator can come on before the engine, it won't hurt anything. And crack the throttle open. And turn the engine over. Okay, so we're going to look at the RPM over here, just raise it gently to 1000 RPM. Then we're going to go and turn on the avionics while the engine is warming up, so the autopilot's just coming up to speed. There's the GPS. Going through its boot up sequence, it's going to show the versions of everything. We're not going to use GPS, we're just going to follow our nose, fly out towards the city and then out towards the coast. We've got LittleNavMap running in the background. So we're going to fly out and see how we do. Let's give it a few moments. Here we go. Wait for it to capture satellites. So nav lights can go on. So just take a little look at the map here at Jandakot Airport. We are going to turn immediately right and then taxi along taxiway Bravo, by the look of it, out onto the runway. We won't need much runway. 182 doesn't need much of a takeoff roll at all. We could probably go from the middle intersection, to be honest. Okay, so GPS is up and running, hurrah! So calibrate the altimeter, looks like it's already good. Taxi light goes to on, and we are ready to roll. Okay, so let's go and turn the head tracking on now. Now we've done all of our flicking of switches. Take the parking brake off. So we're wanting to go that way. Watch out for the aeroplane alongside us. Looks like we're fine. It's quite an impressive airfield, isn't it? This is just a stock airfield, by the way. Okay, so this would be the midpoint intersection on the runway. Should we turn off before we have an argument with the van? Or is he going to try and turn straight across us? Okay. So let's just make sure. The wind is trying to push the tail to the right, which means, yeah, we've got the wind coming down the runway. Not sure that we can actually see a windsock anywhere nearby. No. Which is a bit of an annoyance. I mean, we can see from the way the aeroplane's behaving that, okay, you know, which direction the wind's coming from. So full throttle. Hold the centre line, coming up through 60 knots and rotate gently. Yeah, we've got a little bit of a crosswind, but nothing too bad. Okay, So, looking around as we climb out from Jandakot, we'll do a slow left turn. Keep an eye on that turn coordinator down there. Keep an eye on the vertical speed as well. So there's Perth out ahead of us, so we're starting to head north. I've just corrected the gyro compass, which was completely incorrect. And we're going to head out to the river first. So I'm actually tempted to fly out further to the east and fly along the river a bit more, but I think we'll be fine actually. So this scenery around Perth is very, very good. It's not using photogrammetry, I don't think. I think it's using AI building, so you can see AI stock building shapes. But whether that's true of the city, I have no idea. We'll find out when we get there. I think it might be photogrammetry when we get closer. You can usually see like a tide mark in the scenery, can't you, where the photogrammetry starts to happen. Okay, so we should start seeing pleasure boats fairly quickly. On the river. Should. Famous last words, of course. So let's pull the RPM back as well. We no need to go full RPM on the prop all the time. Did we go and switch on? We got the beacon light on, we got the nav lights on, we probably need pitot heat on just in case. Should we put the yoke back on so we can actually see the inputs when they do them? So you can see some boats coming up. So we're going to slow down a bit. Follow the river in. So obviously none of these boats would be here without the Seafront simulations add-on doing its work. Scarily, there seems to be a yacht heading directly for the bridge, but I'm imagining he's not going to have any kind of logic to lower his mast. Maybe he will stop before he gets to the bridge. Yeah, here's the photogrammetry look. It's not the highest quality photogrammetry around Perth, unfortunately. And the boats appear to have sunk, which is a shame. These ones are fine. It's very cool, isn't it? Obviously it's at the mercy of the quality of the scenery. So in different areas it's going to look better or worse. So we'll head over towards the city first and then we'll come back out towards the river to have a proper look around as we go out more towards the coast. Let's go and buzz this yacht, shall we? Nice to see aeroplanes with wakes, isn't it? Sorry, yachts with wakes. Listen to me. Or don't listen to me, as the case may be. Oh look, there's cars doing leaps on the roads along here. It's always good to see in the simulator. Okay, so we're heading towards Perth. It's early in the morning. I've set the time for 8 in the morning, but the clouds are live, or the weather is live, I should say. It's interesting, isn't it? When the photogrammetry works well, it works really well. And when it doesn't, it really doesn't. There's another boat down there in the harbour here. It appears to, there's two boats on top of each other there, which is a bit of a shame. But oh, this should be interesting. How best to do this? I'm going to loop round to the right and fly along the seafront here and double back on ourselves. Okay. And should we do this from outside? Of course we're in the RG, aren't we? We could put the undercarriage up. So I guess we're most interested, actually let's go back inside. We're most interested in having a look at these boats. In and around the harbours. It's very cool, isn't it? Unfortunately, the photogrammetry isn't very high quality, but the boats look great. Right on the stall limit. Doing this climbing turn across the harbour. There's a couple of ferries down there as well, look. Very cool. Okay, let's go and circle the city, shall we? Have a proper look at it. Ourselves back in the airplane properly. I've been skidding the view around, so there we go. Get a much better view. So if we duck down, in fact if I double back, then we'll be able to look out of the pilot's side and have a nicer view. Up a little bit, slide forwards in the seat a little bit, and then we get a nicer view of the city. So if we fly out towards the stadium, from the right sort of altitude, photogrammetry doesn't look half bad, does it? So you can see down here is the boats we just passed over a minute ago. So we'll head over towards the stadium and then double back and go out towards the ocean. Or is it an Australian rules football ground? I think it's Australian rules football, isn't it? Oh no, cricket ground. It's just the crease in the middle. It's a shame they didn't replace that bridge when they did the scenery for Australia with a 3D asset. That being said, I think in recent sceneries they've improved the techniques. That's the Australian rules football ground, isn't it? Very cool. Okay, so now we're going to fly out along the edge of the harbour here and go looking for boats to go and have a look at. So I'm going to fly back over the city. There's an interesting building behind these. Okay, so if we just follow this edge of the waterway, we should find lots of boats to go have a look at. It's a shame that there's artifacts so often in the 3D structures. Just me playing with the throttles to you're hearing the warning from the simulator, or sorry, from the aircraft, that I haven't got the gear down when I go below a certain throttle level. Here we go. This is Seafront Simulations work coming into its own here. Money's worth of boats down there. There's a yacht here in the harbour with a wake behind it. Fantastic. It's a cat, isn't it? Yeah. Very cool. Boats moored up. Some interesting buildings on the bank here as well. Boats sailing around down there. I'm going to follow out towards the ocean, which is just over here. If we climb, you can see where we're going. It's great seeing all these boats, isn't it? It brings some life to the simulator. dip down and try and slow down a bit on our way over towards the ports over there on the coast. There's a few pleasure boats in here. Actually, let's circle around here because there's quite a lot to see. Again, it's a shame, isn't it, that there's these artifacts in the scenery quite often. They ruin the immersion completely. Trying to lose a bit of altitude. Well, I guess we could side slip, couldn't we, to lose altitude a little bit more quickly on the way down into towards the channel to the ocean. Here comes the big ships. Got some container ships and some coasters, a couple of tankers. Very cool. Okay, so over this side of the harbour there is more pleasure boats. It does make a huge difference, doesn't it, seeing this all being so vastly populated. So there's some fishing boats on the inner harbour here. Should we just cut in across and see if we can go see them? There's a huge yacht over there. Yep, it's the fishing boats. cool. Keep an eye out for the masts. Okay, what can we see out at sea that we could go and have a look at? I'll open the engine up a little bit. Is there any military vessels around? There's a coaster out there. That's a military ship directly in front of us. Should we see if we can zoom in with the mouse, maybe? Yes, that is a military ship. That was a bit of luck, wasn't it? So I'm just going to straighten our view up. I'm going to go flat out across the water. This is an anchor point maybe outside of the bay. Looks like it, doesn't it? Of course, approaching a military ship in the real world, you would get into all sorts of trouble, I imagine. Be contacted on the radio and told under no certain terms to turn about and go the other way. Some sort of warship, isn't it? Okay, let's slow down. Steaming quite quickly, isn't he? You can see the smoke trail behind him. I presume as we get closer we'll also see the wake. Yep, you can start to see the wake now. It's very cool. Okay, enough fun. Let's go and turn back towards where we came from. So I'm just going to zoom out on the map. So we need to go, basically, we can either go back for Jandakot, or we could go along Garden Island. Could try that, couldn't we? Be a bit of fun. Come in runway 05. It's only a short runway at Garden Island, but I'm sure we can make it. More boats all over the place. People out day tripping and ferries departing. It's very cool. Right, so down at the far end of Garden Island we should find Garden Island Airport. Yankee Golf Alpha Delta. think we're going to turn off right slightly and then double back in. Yeah, that makes sense, doesn't it? There's no harm in circling the airfield first and then falling into a left pattern for 05. Scenery looks good, doesn't it? Waves breaking on the beaches. So keep an eye out now for the runway, which we're almost going the reciprocal direction, but we're going to circle it anyway and then we'll go back out over the ocean on this side and turn back in. There's a breakwater there, look onto the bay, that's quite cool, isn't it? So listening. Okay, so it's just on this end. Well, maybe it isn't a breakwater. No, it's a road. A road and a breakwater, I should say. Okay, so this is a very short airfield. It's a military airfield, I believe. And we're going to land here. So we'll have a little look at it to see what we're facing on the way in. I need to move myself forwards in the cockpit, don't I? Guessing that's another military warship in the middle of the bay there. Okay. Throttle back to 50% as we descend. Keeping on the indicated airspeed, just coming over 120 knots. And we're going to fall into left pattern for runway 05. Coming down for 1500 feet. Ideally we want about 1000 feet. And then dropping to 500 on the final turn. So we want to be going 230 degrees for the reciprocal. So there's the runway. Looking to drop to 1000 feet as we run away from the airfield. It's difficult to see, isn't it? There we go. And make the turn and start dropping. Shot slightly, not too much. Means we'll come in through the gap in the trees, which is quite handy. Although we're going to straighten up before we get there, so a little bit high. Now, has it got lights? I doubt it has. So flaps are down. It's a short runway, so we need to manage the speed quite carefully. If it has got VASI lights, they're hidden behind those trees. So we just have to do this visually. Very wide airfield, isn't it? Or wide runway, I should say. Park the other side of the van. Okay, parking brake on, pull the mixture, and we can turn the avionics off and turn the magnetos off and turn the power off, and we should be able to open the door on this one. Yes, we can. And can we get through the wall? Yes, we can. I love it when aircraft let you do that. Okay, so here we are at Garden Island. It's pretty around here, isn't it? So obviously if we go to the drone camera, we can start playing games with having a look around. Doesn't it make a difference, look, because these harbours at Garden Island haven't got the boats, whereas Perth has. And it looks very, very bare without them once you've got used to seeing them. It's interesting, isn't it? So anyway, yes, this was Perth, and we were taking a little look at the Seafront Simulations boats add-on for the Perth area, which is available from Orbex. Okay, I'm going to leave it there, and I'll see you again soon.